You can play around with this tolerance. If you make it small, you get more iterations. There we go. And if you make it larger, of course, then you get fewer iterations because it thinks it's already done a good job. Okay, I'll set that back to 10 to the negative 4 for now. Now we've looked at stopping this while loop once this solution gets within a tolerance, and we've also looked at stopping the while loop once the counter got to a certain value. We might want to have a look at stopping the while loop if either of those things happen. So only continuing while your solution's less than a tolerance, or your counter hasn't got to the maximum number of iterations that you want to do. So say for instance you had a problem that converged really slowly. You might not want to wait forever for the solution to get within a certain tolerance. You might just want to stop and say that's good enough, it wasn't going anywhere and I can't wait forever. Okay, so let's set up a maximum number of iterations. I'm going to call that max count, and I'll set that equal to 10, which is an enormous value. Next we need to change the while condition, so we need both the counter to be less than the max count and the solution to be not converged within tolerance for it to go into this loop. So that was an AND. So we need counter is less than max count. So this is just using an AND to join together the two different criteria that we've used to stop the while loop previously. I'm going to put them in brackets, but you don't really have to do that, I just like to. Okay, once we press calculate, we'll see that the solution did exactly the same thing that it did before we put this extra criteria in. This is because this criteria is overriding this one, so it happens that the solution gets within tolerance before the counter reaches max count. However, we can change this. So if we had max count equals 2 and said 2 iterations, it's all that I want you to do. Clear the output here. We see we get 2 iterations and the solution has not converged to be within this tolerance here. Okay, the problem with the compound statement on your while loop, with a compound AND statement, is that you don't know which one of those is false and has caused the loop to exit. So if either of those ones are false, or even if both of them are false, program execution will skip the loop and continue after the loop. So after the end of the loop, for this sort of condition, you don't know which ones of those are true and which are false. You just know that at least one of those are false. And to find out which one happened, you're going to have to do a test. But that's just something to think about.